Welcome to the Trailchasers podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. On our off-road adventure this weekend, the Roading MTX tires got us through the soft dirt, the hard packed, and the rutted out hill climbs with ease. These tires can take the performance of any vehicle to a whole new level. You should go to nexentireusa.com and get a set of Roading MTXs for your rig. And by Icon Vehicle Dynamics. The adjustable shocks make it possible for you to dial in your suspension for whatever trail you're on. This weekend, Matt's son dialed up the Frontier shock so high that Matt's truck was bouncing down the trail like a pogo stick. You should go to iconvehicledynamics.com and get Icon equipped. Then don't let my nephew touch your rig.
Or, no, you shouldn't. Today on the show, we talk about the new Bronco. Is it cool? I think so. Will people buy it? Cody probably will. Is it going to break? No doubt. Then the F-bombs start flying. Thanks, El Pollo Loco. And then lastly, we talk about this week's adventure with the LGE CTS crew. Are we part of the cool club now? Not if Cody gets that Bronco, we're not.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice because the Bronco is fucking badass.
Oh, man, I didn't even see that. How am I going to edit that out? Hey, it is a little bit earlier on a Monday than usual. It's 5:30 instead of 6:30. We didn't really put any notice out.
Well, you did have a timer on Instagram coming down.
Oh, so yeah, I did do a timer too. So we'll still be live at 6:30. I forgot about this. We'll tell them it was 6:30 Mountain.
Should have checked.
Should have
paid attention.
So we just watched the Ford Bronco.
That was it.
Release video.
That was it. I got off work early just to watch that.
Yeah.
I mean, cool.
I thought I fully expected.
No, I thought it was going to be a keynote.
I thought it would be a full keynote, a full Steve Jobs number on a stage with a reveal, and it doesn't look like that's happening.
You thought they were going to bring Steve Jobs back from the dead?
Mm-hmm. At least a black turtleneck or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, it is Ford. If somebody's going to do, they got the money, right?
Well, they say they do.
Yeah.
So we just watched this video, and I freaking want one, dude. So, couple things.
So
first, let's just start.
Why don't you fast forward to what you did yesterday?
No. We'll talk about that in a minute. So the Jeep yesterday drops this photoshopped image.
It wasn't photoshopped. I think it's real.
Is it of a Jeep hood with a 392 V8 Hellcat?
They've been talking about that forever, though.
Yeah, they have. They've been talking about a V8 and a Wrangler since at least since the JK came out. There used to be V8s in the CJ7s, and in '87 when they went to the YJ, it was 6 cylinders and 4 cylinders.
Yeah.
And I got into a little bit of a conversation on Instagram about it, and because as soon as they put that picture out, all the Jeep fanboys were like, "Bronco, who don't know her," that kind of stuff. But I mean, this is something that you can order now.
I'm just really surprised they didn't show the Bronco with the V8.
I don't think that's not what this was about. This was about look at the Bronco and here's all the features. The V6, the EcoBoost 6 and the
EcoBoost 4.
Yeah, EcoBoost 4 and whatever engines come in. They probably haven't finalized some of that. Or maybe they have finalized it. They just didn't want to address it. I don't think they need to. I think this release was look at this vehicle, look what we can do, and then they punched. They punched hard at Jeep in this thing.
Everything they said, everything was directed towards Jeep. Mm-hmm. Every little single feature was, look, this is what Jeep can do. This is what we can do better.
I saw a video on TV. That thing looks cool. Granted, and it had 35-inch wheels on it.
From the factory, you
Tires.
could get 35.
Tires.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying. You're trying to be specific with
Well,
me, Jose.
35-inch wheels are
Would be
giant.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. They're very tiny sidewalls.
They're like rubber bands.
Exactly. And that thing was mobbing across the desert. That thing was bucking. You know, they were hitting some pretty heavy.
To be fair, our trucks do the same thing.
Okay, but I want to see somebody drive it like that from the factory. You know, I don't know. You can show whatever you want. That thing was mashing up. It was mashing up some hills.
It was.
Mashing. Like there was some stuff. He was, the yellow one, the 2-door, like rutted up trail. Just
At one point, it looked
right
like
through some ruts.
they looked like they were in Cougar Buttes over those round rocks.
It did.
But the things that I quickly jotted down that I thought, and we could go back if we needed to, but all of the Broncos.
I just want to know again. Let me finish my statement. If we had 1 in 5, like if 1 in 5 people drove their Bronco like that, it's just it'll take that stuff. You know,
I gotta look. I got to assume
they got some new technology with the Haas. The Haas.
Oh, yeah.
Haas system.
It's a snow planet?
Yeah, the snow planet suspension. Whatever.
Look, listen here, Haas.
Like, let's
that's
see how that goes. I mean, everybody's technology's like everybody wants the new. You know, I'm kind of anti-technology. Like, that just seems like potentially more things to break. But I mean, if it works, cool. I think it looked pretty cool.
Well, and to your point, I think that they know that.
Seems capable.
They know that. They know that if they tout this thing as a off-road vehicle and it breaks down, the Jeep will destroy them over that.
I have to give Ford credit in this video. They directly targeted the Wrangler.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
So,
like everything every feature.
I wrote the ones down that you and I looked at each other.
Yeah,
so all of them come with 4-wheel drive because you can buy Wranglers that are not 4-wheel drive.
Right. Can you? Mm-hmm. 2-wheel drive Wranglers?
Wranglers.
Yeah.
I don't know about the JL, but the JK you could buy. Because I remember we went and looked at one. I went and looked at it a lot, and I'm like, what the hell is this abomination?
You're like, it's missing a it's missing a 4-wheel drive lever.
There's a problem here. 35-inch tires available from the factory. Highest ground clearance, highest water fording, because you can't get your Wrangler wet. The goat modes we can talk about. Haas suspension. They made a point to say that you could get articulation and smooth ride that you can't get from a solid axle.
No, just better ride and
is that what it was?
Performance in a solid axle.
They pointed out that when the roof is up, there's no center beam to get in the way.
Right.
Body mounted mirrors.
Exactly.
So that you can take the doors off and have the freedom and not have to worry about it. I dug the interior. I thought the interior looked great with that screen, the 10-inch
Like
screen.
I said, they all look the same to me.
I know.
For me, anything's an upgrade.
Where was the orange highlights? You can order them. For.
And I liked the 360 degree camera thing. I mean,
the rock crawling.
So they had the goat modes.
Yeah, go over any terrain. First of all, that's freaking genius. Like, I don't care. Like, to me, I know it seems a little like campy.
Give the people a week, and they'll come up with another anagram.
I'm sure. Yeah, found on road dead. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
give me some time. I'll come up with some good stuff.
Just the idea that they're like being campy about it, like they're tough and campy. I love it. Like, that was cool. The Haas suspension was I didn't catch all of the details, but it sounds like it was automatically adjusting, right?
I think so. It looked like it was based off of Bilstein.
Mm-hmm. And it had
Bilstein.
Bilstein, excuse me.
And it had a front and rear locker.
That was according to the guy that
yes,
at the show.
At the expo.
I've never heard anybody else.
Excuse me, Bill Stein.
Right.
Oh, thank you.
That was a Ford commercial that said Bilstein. Mind you, the only person I've ever heard say Bilstein is the one dude I talked to at the fairgrounds.
And if Ford wants them to change it to Bilstein, they're going to change it to Bilstein. Front and rear lockers, the disconnecting sway bar,
that
you can do under load, and it would reset itself. That is a direct punch at the Rubicon.
Everything was. This was a direct Wrangler competitor.
So go back to King of the Hammers when we had that conversation with the unnamed Ford representative, and I said, you guys are going after Jeep hard, and that person nodded their heads. Tim just said that news. Tim just said Cody's going to set a new record for him of shortest owned vehicle with the Ranger. Ooh, dude, it's possible. It's possible. I could not be more excited about this thing. I would love to see them on the road. And realistically, I mean, it's not. You can't buy them a year old for $30,000, right? I mean, they're brand new. Any of the one that's the well equipped is going to be over $40,000. It's there's, you don't think
55?
Yeah, it's going to be a $60,000
45, 50.
60. I'm saying
I don't think so. What's the Rubicon? The JL Rubicon go for right now?
Like 45.
The Rubicon?
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to price it
a base Rubicon.
No, I'm talking.
A base Rubicon. It might not have all the amenities.
Yeah,
but it's still a Rubicon. So a base Rubicon's like $45,000.
I think that they're going to be smart enough to price it either as close as possible to or just under the price of the comparable Jeep.
Yeah, because I don't know. They didn't say like trim levels, right, of the Bronco?
No.
I don't know what the top trim level is going to be called. Unless they stick to the moniker like XLT.
I'm sure
XL.
they'll it'll be the XLT, the XL, the XLT, the Lariat, and then they'll probably have the Sport package. When
does the Raptor version come out? That has to be coming out.
I saw a comment today about that. If a Raptor Bronco comes out,
a Raptor?
That's what someone said. But if a Bronco Raptor were to come out, that would be that would put Jeep on its heels.
But they're about to come out with.
Why are you shaking your head, Matt?
People are loyal to their brand.
Oh, people are loyal to the Jeep.
You're the only one. You're not loyal to anything
other than my wife. But yeah,
okay. But you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about vehicles. You'll just at the drop of a hat. Oh my God, it comes in orange. Like I gotta have it. So that people, there's maybe people like myself who are not really necessarily loyal to any brand. I mean, I guess I was like a Chevy guy for a long time, but I didn't have a problem buying a Nissan truck. People like me might grab if you were getting into the market from scratch. Like I'm thinking about a Jeep when you don't really know. Again, maybe you're just brand new to four-wheeling and you haven't a ton of experience where you've seen Rubicons like lifted and just killing it, like and their capability. You're already, those people are going to stay with Jeep for the most part until 5, 6, 7 years down the line when you're seeing a comparable equipped Bronco with all the aftermarket support that Jeep has now.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's not just the truck. It's the accessories. It's all the things you can do to that Jeep and all the different manufacturers.
They already have 200 aftermarket accessories in the Ford store, which, I mean, it's going to be Ford stuff, right? It's going to be more expensive, whatever. But I will.
Should be less expensive.
I will bet.
There's half doors. Did you see them?
Yes. And they had the open doors too.
Yeah.
I'll bet $1 to a hole in the donut that there are companies that are just dying to get their hands on one of these to be the first to market. Because going back to your conversation about the Jeep aftermarket support, there's too much Jeep aftermarket support.
There's just saturated
400 different bumpers you can get for a Jeep. They had to start making plastic grills.
If you're a Jeep owner, where's the problem there?
I'm not. I'm
less. It just costs less for bumpers.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. Is like there is so much. The Jeep aftermarket is so crowded right now. For consumers, it's good. For a manufacturer, if you are a bumper manufacturer and you're down to single-digit markup on your bumpers because you're competing with every other bumper company out there in the world for a Jeep, what if you're the first one to come to market with a reasonable bumper for the Bronco? Now your margins go up because you don't have a competition. I think the aftermarket support is going to go after this hard. I think companies like Icon are going to go after this hard as soon as they get their hands on it.
I think.
Well, when I get mine, Icon's going to get a hold of it so they can build a suspension for it.
My opinion is aftermarket support is what it is. That number is finite. It is right now. Those people own Toyotas, Jeeps. That's 75% of all aftermarket parts are probably those two brands.
Yeah.
And then like trickle off the rest. That's a finite. It's the same number. So you're going to pull like the Bronco or Ford's going to try and pull away from and into that market. You got to sell the trucks first.
Yeah, but if you can buy the truck with
that's
a locker,
that's who you're gunning for.
but
you know,
if you can buy the Bronco with a locker and 35s from the factory, yeah, you're going to pay more for it. What more aftermarket support do you need? Like, if you roll off the lot...
The accessories.
I know. The little things.
Ooh, look at my winch.
Yeah.
And...
But that doesn't...
it's like you said, we saw that, or you were talking about the guy with the Wrangler, the two-wheel drive, and he had it all...
The Tacoma.
The Tacoma, yeah. And he had the method wheels and all the different stuff on there. Yeah.
But thousands of dollars in it, and it doesn't see dirt.
But a lot of the accessories, the winches, are not... They're not vehicle specific. You need a bumper to put it on.
But I'm pretty sure bumpers and all that stuff are gonna be.
I'm telling you, man.
Sure, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I don't know. We'll see. There's already decades worth of loyal people to Toyota, to Jeep,
and so let me touch base on that. So for
those people are going to go. All right.
What do you mean by those?
Okay,
people?
hold on.
Those people are going to go. I do. You know what? That Bronco's pretty cool, but at first it's going to look like everybody else's.
Yeah.
And I still have my Jeep.
Here's the thing, though.
And they're going after that aftermarket, those type of people
for the last 40 years. So, yeah, let's say 40 years, almost 50 years. Jeep Wrangler has had no competition. There's been no short wheelbase vehicle with high approach departure angles and a removable top with four-wheel drive.
Well, up until 96, the Bronco was the only other competitor.
That's what I was saying. Since the Bronco stopped being produced, I'm talking about the mid-size Bronco, not the full-size. I wouldn't compare that to the Jeep. But for the reason there's so much Jeep market and so much Jeep loyalty, in my opinion, is because they have been the only one to have that product. If you wanted to go off-road in a short wheelbase vehicle and take the top off, what other options did you have? You didn't. So people, I'm a perfect example.
I'm going to tell you those people are crazy anyhow, because while you guys were getting all dusty this weekend, I had my AC rolling and everything was fine. But go on about your open.
So let me tell you, in '92, when I wanted to get into off-roading, I wanted a Bronco. The problem was to find that original Bronco, if it even turned on, it was $10,000 because they were so rare already. I couldn't afford one. I ended up in a CJ7 and I fell in love with the Jeep brand. And I've owned up until 2016, I owned a Jeep almost exclusively with minor runs in between of little things that, stopgaps. But I still go back to that Bronco, wanting that Bronco. That was the first image of off-road vehicles to me. And if I wanted to take the top off, which I did all through my 20s and 30s, I loved driving with the top off. The top on my Jeep was off 9 months out of the year. And a short wheelbase, wheeling in the capable wheeler, the only option you had was the Wrangler. This is now a viable alternate option to the Jeep. So Matt, to your point, there are people that will never leave the Jeep brand. There are people that are just going to get into it for the first time and look at this as an option. But there are a lot of people that are driving a Jeep because it was the only option. And now that there's an alternative, they may look elsewhere.
We'll see. The Ranger sales were slow, right? When that came out.
But have you noticed lately?
They're probably picking up now. I've seen a lot more on the road.
Everywhere.
Sure, they have to be selling well now. By my estimation, just seeing them on the road all the time. This might be. It seems like a lot of the created. It seemed like a big event. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to sell like hotcakes. COVID's going on. People, the economy's going to be, this is kind of like a bad time. Just like we were talking a couple of weeks ago about the new Frontier coming out.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, Nissan always picks like the worst time to release something.
I don't know, dude, but I don't think a lot of people are still working, and a lot of people still have a lot of money. And dude, truck sales have been crazy these few months.
And part of that's because companies like Ford are giving out deals,
And huge incentives. But this truck had so much hype for years already. From when they teased that, just the logo a few years ago, that hype has been building up. I mean, leaked images, like all this.
Oh yeah, and you got to give Ford credit for that. I mean, they have gone. Their marketing team has created the buzz around this to a point, so much so that Jeep felt it necessary to put out that teaser.
Exactly. They made Jeep wince. Like,
yes,
they flinched.
Yeah, well, because again, they now have a competitor. Jeep could have put out a turd box with a front locker on it, and people would buy it because it was the only option.
Didn't they? That's the JKs,
right? Isn't that what the JL is?
Oh man. Oh, that's Matt at trailchasers.net. There are going to be, so some of the comments in some of the stuff that I was paying attention to today was about that V8 Jeep was, Bronco who, and people were commenting on the Bronco not having a solid axle and, four banger or whatever. And I was like, okay, let's show me that Jeep with the V8 in it and let's go hit a trail. Like, I mean, to me, Jeep is fantastic at creating concept vehicles. When they go to Easter Jeep Safari...
Well, that's the main thing at Easter Jeep Safari.
Yes,
every year.
They roll out with these bitchin' concept vehicles.
Well, what's cool about those vehicles is that some part of the vehicle ends up in the production vehicle. Even if it's a vent or whatever.
I'm sure there's something, but
that's their way of just teasing what's
correct.
Upcoming.
And those concept vehicles are always bitching. I remember picking up JP Magazine just to see what concept vehicles were out there because you're like, oh, I want that, and they never produced them. Not one of those concept vehicles. Maybe to your point, it was a test of this specific product or feature, and they put it into the production. I get that, but Jeep is great at creating concept vehicles that don't make production. I had a little side chat with somebody in the industry that indicated. They have it on good authority that
was it Casey? Just because he works on Jeeps, he's in the industry.
No. But there is.
I don't think that counts.
I did get some feedback from somebody that will remain anonymous.
What does their name rhyme with?
Blose Blabarado.
I've heard it. Shh. When this guy talks,
Mr. Blabarado.
Mr. Dabalina? Mr. Jose Dabalina?
Mr. Dabalina. If you don't know what we're talking about, Mr.
Dabalina. Early episode.
Yeah, Mr. Dabalina, Mr. Bob Dabalina. Yeah. There's a song that I've never heard of, and then Matt made me listen to it. And there are times where I'll just out of randomly be
Del, the funky Homo sapien.
Okay. So, but there are times when that will like I'll get an earworm and that'll just hit my head and I'll walk around for a day.
Yeah,
Mr. Babalina, Mr. Bob Babalina. And so anyways, there was, I got a message from somebody that said that not only the Wrangler, but maybe the Gladiator may be seeing a V8 at some point.
Sure, whatever. Again, like throw that 392 out there. That's kind of weak.
But that's the SRT motor. That's like
no. I'm not talking about the great motor, sure, but to do it the day before this, just to give your fanboys like a little. We got something too. No, you're not.
Yeah,
you ain't getting that. 5 years from now does not count.
That's exactly what I said. I said
if 2 weeks from now they came out and said, "Here it is, guys,"
they said the
blam, and you could buy it right now. Then I'd say that's strong because again, you've had this Bronco coming for years.
Yeah.
And we've been hearing about it. If they really wanted to counter or, up the stakes, they'd have already, it would be tomorrow.
You would have seen it at an event. Like I kind of got the feeling that was like someone in the marketing team at Jeep was like, holy shit, that Bronco releases Monday?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, can somebody Photoshop a couple numbers on a hood for me?
And not even the entire 392, just a 39 and the blurred out too.
That's like that garbage Independence Day, not spinoff, but the second one came out. The Alien movie with Will Smith.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God, it's like the 20th anniversary of that movie. Let's put another one out.
Yeah,
and they did it in like 3 weeks. And you're like, this is the worst piece of garbage movie I've ever seen. How dare you even have some of the same actors in it? It's just shit.
I never saw the second. Was it the same president?
No, he was he was like an old folks home by that point.
He went crazy and stuff.
Oh, that's right. When the alien connected to his brain, it made him nuts.
Yeah. Don't watch it. It made me angry.
Is Will Smith in it?
No, because he knew. He was like, oh my God, you're doing what?
Yeah.
You only got 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm booked. I'm booked.
I'm a 5-week minimum kind of.
But my point is, like, to kind of in line with Matt, is that, Jeep has had this on their radar for a long time. And I think if they really wanted to respond, they should have had a vehicle that people could look at, even if it was a prototype.
Absolutely.
I think an Instagram post is cheese. And second,
that's just bait. It's just
total bait. And there was a lot of people pumping their chest about it too. Secondly, I think it shows Jeep was like, we got to do something to remind people that we're here. There's so much buzz about this Bronco, and it's our newest only competition. We got to do something to say, hey, we're here. And that's all that was. It was just don't forget about us, guys.
It was weak. Just weak. What would be better than like throwing a gauntlet down? Oh, okay, you got that Bronco. Check it out. Here's the V8 Jeep, whatever, Gladiator. That would have been strong, and America would love that. Oh, that's like old school Camaro Mustang,
100%. And I'm not bashing on Jeep. Like, if they actually bring a V8 Gladiator to market, damn, that would be amazing, right?
Like, all this is benefiting the consumer.
100%.
This competition that they just do, because the Bronco just lit a off-road war on Jeep.
100%. And I love that. And one, it's going to make better vehicles because they're going to be competing against each other. And two, it's going to drive prices down. I hope. Well, I think it will. And you've got two different competing theories here. You've got the solid front axle that Jeep's like, I'm not going to get away from, and Bronco's like, whatever, we'll follow you. We'll
IFS.
We'll do it with IFS and beat you.
There's also the thought that, sure, Ford, go ahead, build your. Because what's Jeep got to. They already have the market. It's not like they have the market cornered. They're probably going to lose some, depending on how this comes out. But you can kind of see that too. Well, whatever. We're still going to sell our however many they sell.
Yeah.
We're going to sell like 10 less. I don't know. They can have that mentality, but they came out with that dumb post, so
you're right.
If you read into it,
exactly,
they better do it.
If they were like, if they didn't even acknowledge that this thing was happening today, I would agree, Matt, that they're like, whatever, Ford, that's cute, do your thing with your horsey, whatever. But did you see
if they did something? If they did something to kind of mock it, like
they did. Did you? Oh, you probably didn't see it. There is a Jeep. There's a Wrangler commercial right now that came out today.
Oh, okay.
Where we will pull it up here in just a second. There's a Jeep going. They show these horses in the field, and then this Jeep comes barreling down the trail, and it scares the horses away. And the whole thing is like, the rugged Wrangler, blah 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 blah, blah, and the horses are like, and they running away. Oh, it could not have been more on the nose if they try. A 6-year-old said, "Why don't you do a thing where it scares the horses?" Like they're doing it. They're purposely going out to mock Ford and try to make light of what the Bronco is as a tactic. And I don't know that it's the right tactic. Matt, I think you're right.
So let's start a show. Can we get sponsorship so we can get a Bronco and a Gladiator, or
So Yeah, go ahead.
and then just battle. We'll take them with us, and we'll put them through the paces.
So Matt, I disagree with you in two points that you made. That the first point saying that you don't think this thing's gonna sell. I think this thing it's gonna be sold out everywhere. I think this thing.
We said the same thing about the Gladiator, and it didn't really.
Dude, it's the Gladiators everywhere right now.
But at first, when it first came out, it was like
it took a while to ramp up.
On the lot, they were asking, 65, 70K. Like, what are you, dude?
So with that, I think, dude, this thing is gonna sell. Even the Bronco Sport, because I'm telling you that adventure market.
Oh
is
yeah,
if they're at that price point where you with 35s, off the lot, Rubicon competitor,
yes. I think it's
around that price.
It's gonna be a home run, dude.
Okay, maybe.
And then the second point, I forgot.
Be the first to break. Hey, be the first to break down on a trail with your Ford Bronco.
I remember now. This thing
I had to talk about breaking down, and you're like, "Oh, that's right."
That's right. No, but this thing. What I like about this thing is, it's not just some trim level, right? It's an actual dedicated. Well, from what the marketing is, right? It's a dedicated off-road built first. And then, like, they're not trying to go for comfort or, quietest on the highway. I mean, from the commercial or the video they showed, this thing was targeted to be the ultimate off-road in its segment, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever segment it is. I mean, the Jeep segment. And I think a lot of current Jeep owners, I mean, I bet you 80% or 90% of current JL Rubicon owners had a JK at some point or had another type of Jeep at some point. I think by now, they might be getting tired of just buying another. Because realistically, what's the next Jeep going to be? It's just going to be another Jeep, right?
And that was the JK. So I loved my TJ. My TJ was very much harkened back to the old CJ7s. It was short. It was quick, narrow and quick, and I loved it. The JK didn't appeal to me. It was, and at the time, and I would say that my position on it has changed since. But at the time, I didn't need a 4-door Wrangler. I didn't have a family. It was a mom vehicle that they could drive around and be cool in, and that you could still hit the trail in. Now it proved me wrong as it became the most prolific off-road vehicle on the planet, and everybody wheeled it and what have you. But that iteration didn't appeal to me. And the JL, I think, is just the next iteration, and it hasn't appealed to me yet. And so your point, I'm sure there's going to be people that are like, well, I've had 4 Jeeps,
they're going to be like, let me see what the Bronco has to offer, because they are touting like this is an off-road vehicle. And, it's a different approach, right, to the same problem. IFS, it's more comfortable. It's, you can do faster in the dunes. So this is very interesting.
Yeah, solid front axle. Oh, it's not a solid. How many people actually, in reality, like having independent front suspension for your 99% of the time you're driving around, you benefit from? And then, I don't know, like we said a number of times, that technology seems to be improving and more capability, and
and you look on the trail with
that could be. I mean, Tim's talking about, not for me. I gotta have solid.
No, he said he might actually. It would be better for his kidneys if he had.
I understood, but his first comment was, "Not for me. I gotta have solid front axle."
Yeah.
Do you? If it's a daily driver, yeah, dude, going 80 plus and not bouncing all over the road, it's pretty awesome.
No death wobble. So, but think about the vehicles that we see on the trail today. The Tacomas,
they're all IFS.
Gen 2, Gen 3 are all IFS.
Gen 1s are all IFS.
Where's the Gen 1? The Forerunners. The Rangers. What else do we?
Frontiers.
The Frontiers.
Titans. F-150s. Raptors.
The GSXs. Everything on the trail today.
Motorcycles?
What?
He said GSX.
The Lexus GX. Sorry, the Gixxers, yeah.
I'm like, the 600?
Yeah. No. I'm saying, like, everything on the trail that has been made in the last 15 years...
Besides the Jeep,
is IFS. And I know that Jeep makes up 50% of the vehicles on the trail, right? So let's say let's say if there's 1,000 vehicles on the trail, 500 of them are Jeeps, and the other 500 are a mixture of the vehicles we just named, the Tacomas, the 4Runners, the Rangers, whatever. But still, 50% of the market is proving that you can go do what we do without a front axle, right? And
solid front axle.
a solid front axle. I'm assuming if you're going to do
just some wheels bolted up, through bolted the chassis,
a long piece of all thread,
heavy all thread,
3/4 inch all thread from side to side. It makes it really easy to adjust your alignment.
Oh yeah, it's easy.
Just thread that nut in farther. But if you're going to if you want to do major rock crawling, maybe there's a case for the solid front axle. But I would argue that the Dana 30 with 35s on it isn't the best front axle to go off-roading in. The 44 that comes in the 44 that comes in the Rubicon, okay. All right, you've got a point. You want to crawl over vehicle-sized boulders with 35, 37-inch tires. Yeah, you're probably going to need a front locker. I mean, a solid front axle. But for, I think, what 90% of the people do in off-roading and trail running and adventuring, you don't need it. And I think the Bronco is going to prove that.
But I think even now, I mean, look at King of the Hammers. Dude, a lot of these trucks are IFS and IRS.
Yeah. I think, just really quick, I think that warranty is going to go a long way too. Like, what kind of warranty are you going to get? Because that was a selling point on my truck. 100 year, 100 year, 1 million mile, 100,000 mile warranty drivetrain. Dude, that was okay. I'm going to try and break this thing, right? So that's for peace of mind. You got to have something similar. I don't know if you have to have something similar, but it would go a long way to, for me, if I were to, I mean, dude, getting over the Ford heebie-jeebies.
So,
like,
look,
you'd have to have a really stout warranty, and not, hey, yeah, well, because you can buy a warranty. Hey, we'll just roll this 5-10K right into your loan, and we'll warranty it for 10 years. No, it's got to be like a standard thing. Give me that confidence, Ford.
I went down the Ford trail, rabbit hole one time already, and I had a bad experience.
You had a horrible experience.
I had the worst experience.
Absolutely.
I feel like punching you just for thinking about it. You deserve, you know what? If you were to, Cody's crazy. Who knows what
you not talking to me?
No, I'm gonna mock you, and then when it breaks, I'm gonna wish for it to break on you.
Well, I'm gonna need you to give me a ride to the dealership.
I will. I'll root against you. I'm gonna root against you.
It would be.
He could do it. I don't care.
It would be deserved because of
that's
my
what
experience.
That's what I'm saying.
But the fact that
I've known you long enough, and I've heard enough stories. I'm sure you made a lot of mistakes in your life.
No,
and Letty gave you a second chance. You wouldn't be where you're at today if someone didn't give you a second chance.
Obviously. But what I'm saying is, look, I am not a Toyota loyalist. I'm a huge Toyota fan.
Oh, yeah.
It's just because of my thing is just how reliable they are.
Yeah, you can't argue.
They're great trucks,
You cannot argue.
But I'm not like Toyota ride or die. Like it's I'm just a big fan of Toyota.
And I will say publicly that if you're considering buying a Toyota or have a Toyota,
they're great.
Good job. You've done a good thing. You will love that truck.
You can't go wrong. I'm just saying, what you get out of the box with this Bronco, dude, you get front and rear locker. You get the Haas suspension.
You get goat mode.
You get goat modes. You get 35.
You get boat mode.
You get a 360-degree camera.
I don't care about that. That crap can go away, dude. I don't
that's
want
awesome.
that.
I think that's awesome.
That's one more thing they can break. I don't need that.
But if it breaks, the car's not gonna run.
How do you know, dude? It's all intertwined. You got 4 fuse boxes in your truck, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, for what
that's probably a selling point for Ford. Thing's got 4 fuse boxes.
That's
you know how many we can sell?
People don't know. Like, yeah, honey, it's got 4 fuse boxes. Sounds good. To me. Better than 1.
Yeah. How many fuse boxes you got?
But my thing is just out of the box. You get so much out of the box with that truck from what the video showed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's ultimately going to be on the showroom floor, but if it's everything, obviously it's everything they've said, I don't.
But I think Matt kind of touched on it a little bit, is what trim level. And what base price?
I think the huge factor in this is going to be the price. Because if the top of the line trim is going to be $65K, it's going to be like a Raptor price. Dude, people will still buy them.
I
Dude, look at all the Raptors that are on the road.
So many on the road.
Are they giving those things away?
I think people are living in them. They don't have a mortgage anymore. I really think that, and I don't know. I'm not a vehicle scientist, but I think that they know that they are competing, and what market who they're competing against.
No, obviously by everything, they're all 4-wheel drive.
Yeah,
they're all
But by everything they said, it would not make sense for them to say, "Hey, we're going hard at the Jeep Wrangler, and we're going to price it $20,000 more." Right? It wouldn't make sense for them to do that.
Or would it though? Because look at the Raptor, dude. They're like $65K starting, and they sell a ton of them.
Yeah,
you know what's crazy? We see Raptors on the trail all the time. Do you ever see them like just getting after it ever?
I did on Saturday.
Oh, okay, one. Okay, well, yeah.
We will talk about.
That was expected, though.
King of Kings, my friends.
Bro,
King
that
of
was a
Kings.
stock rap, dude. I did not think.
King of Kings. We'll talk about that. We're getting there. I think what I'm saying is, maybe it's a couple grand more, or maybe it's comparably priced. But they know what they're doing. They know where they're going after. They know what they're trying to accomplish.
But they still make crappy trucks.
Oh, dude, that is not crappy, man. You cannot look.
They know what they're doing. Tell Jose. Hey, Jose, when they sold you that lemon, yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, dude.
Still bought it.
Deer Lick. What are they? Dearborn or what's the Indiana?
Yeah,
main,
Michigan.
Michigan. Deer Lick. Is it Deer Lick?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Whatever, dude. I'm
French Lick, Indiana. That's where Larry Bird was from. Go ahead.
No, nobody cares. Half the people listening to this show don't know who Larry Bird was.
But even though I went
Larry Bird,
yeah.
Even though I had that Ford experience, dude, I would still be intrigued by buying a Bronco, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, buy my Ranger.
No,
you know you want my Ranger.
No, I don't. Not after seeing the Bronco.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to come down to pricing, it's
going to come out 10 grand. It's going to be 55. 55
for the
like
that's
fully
for
loaded, like fully loaded.
No, that's you can go up to 62, 65 with some package of like whatever it is. It comes with the special doors or those sliders or a combination of like some of the aftermarket stuff on it. But as like Rubicon, not capable, but comparable, it's going to be 10 grand more. And then that's just going to make Rubicon look that much better. Like, watch.
I don't know. If they want this to be, this is a direct.
And at that point, if I was in the market, and they came out like that, 10 grand more. Well, I know what that Rubicon can do.
Yes. No,
10 grand less.
100%. If
they better not, they better not do that.
That's where Jose and I are going with this.
Yeah.
If you put out a Rubicon and a comparably equipped Bronco, and they're the exact same price, someone's going to say that Rubicon has been around for 20 years, and I know exactly what it's capable of, right? I'm not going to take the chance on this thing. So I think they've got to price them a little.
They have to be aggressive with the price.
They have to be aggressive
but there are people that will still go Bronco, same
for sure,
same price point.
If I had the money right now,
I know you would.
I would be clicking a box right now to order one if I could. But I think they hit it out of the park. I think
agreed. I think
you were going to say they hit it out of the park regardless.
No.
They could have came out with one of the wheels wobbling, just dragging
does have to be mentioned.
out of a dune.
The initial,
dude, you know what?
The initial broadcast did not have audio, so that's why they that's why they had to repost.
No, Matt, if they didn't say anything compelling, if they just said if it was like a fluff piece and they didn't provide any of those details about the features that they talked about, I would have been like, okay, it's super cool. I love the way it looks.
You know what they didn't show on the video was right after he was killing it in those dunes, the hood open and then trying to cool it down. Sorry, that might have hit a little close to home.
No,
a little on the nose.
No, I look. And going back to the conversation about the open air vehicle, Matt, even if I had one of these with the open air, the top would stay on most of the time.
I've never taken that off ever.
Oh, dude, I would never take that top off.
I look, man, I used to love having the top off and how cool it was. I am 46-year-old and overweight. Like, I need air conditioning. Yes. I don't want to deal with dust everywhere. Like, I don't need that. But I honestly believe that they did everything they needed to do to appeal to the people that are on the fence.
Yeah, if you're on the fence about I'm thinking about buying a Jeep or a Tacoma, dude, this thing just threw a wrench in the whole system.
As long as the pricing is right.
Cowlings is buying one. That's pretty good. I don't know who you are, Charles, but that's pretty good.
Who's Al Kelly?
That was his buddy that was driving the Bronco, the OJ's buddy.
That's right. That's right. He's ordering a special one.
That was a good pull.
That was
good shot, Charles.
Pull,
he's buying one in white.
Of course.
No, I think they made enough compelling points about the features, right? To Jose's point earlier, they took a jab at Jeep directly, and those features are compelling enough for someone that's not a diehard Jeep loyalist to stop and think about this as an option. And then you've got the Ford.
I'll tell you, I'd like to drive one. I would like to drive one.
And let's go back to, I just thought of this.
Somebody out there make that happen.
Yeah.
Do we have that kind of
Ford?
yet?
But this isn't only going after Jeep. It's going after Toyota 4Runner. It's going after Tacoma.
And
that's true.
Here's also what I think it's going to do. It's going to go after the Raptor. Let me explain. You're a diehard Ford guy. You want an off-road capable vehicle. You went to the Raptor because it was the biggest, baddest off-road vehicle, but you want something that's more trail-worthy, a little bit smaller. How many of those guys are going to downsize from the Raptor to this thing because it's just as badass? You've had your Raptor for, you don't think?
It has to be just as badass. We don't know that yet.
No.
I'm saying is, you're buying that Raptor. You are getting I'll tell you, I think you're getting a badass truck, right?
Yeah.
Would you be okay if I bought a Raptor instead? I showed up in a Raptor.
I don't think you should own a Ford. With the story you told about how much problems you've had, either Ford is just allergic to you or vice versa, but that's kind of like, that's a hard lesson to learn, man.
Fool me once.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but you got to get fooled twice.
Go ahead. I'm not saying we're still hanging out.
Okay.
Nothing different. I'm just wishing that it breaks.
Well, we're going to be hanging out a lot because I'm not going to have a home to go to.
Yeah.
So,
the only way
I'll be getting kicked out, dude, if I come home.
Oh, yeah. You'll be sleeping in whatever you buy.
He'll have to leave the Raptor at your house. He'll leave and he'll pick up the Land Cruiser every day.
We're missing like $1,000 a month.
I don't know.
Somebody stole your identity.
Yeah, I've been talking to the bank about that. They're working on it right now.
Can you buy it under another name? And then that person could steal your identity?
Yeah, Al Crowling.
Al Cowling. Yeah, Jose's going to have to drive by Matt's house every morning, drop off the Land Cruiser, pick up the Raptor.
Yes. My route to work would be from home to Matt's house to work.
Yeah.
Please don't lower my property value with any Fords.
Oh. But I mean, there's again,
and that's Fontana.
Yeah. I think the hype, I think the weight, I think all of the marketing, I think all of that hit pretty well with this video. And
it's a 7-speed manual transmission
available.
So it had to come out. There's some spy shots. You have the 6.
Man.
Right? But then you have a super low crawler gear.
Okay.
It's a super.
But
remember,
I got 6-speed manual.
I asked Holman when we interviewed him I'm like, so what do you think about that 7-speed? He's like, I can't. He's like, what are you talking about?
I guarantee Holman. Look, let me be honest. If you want some real insider info, the Truck Show podcast, Holman's probably spitting out a bunch of information that he's been sitting on for a year.
But that's next week.
Yeah, next week.
We have a full week on them. So.
But I I don't know what else they could have done to pique the interest.
If they would have released this like 3 months ago, I think it would have been even a bigger deal. Like if they would have released this at King of Hammers, because they were the promoting,
Yeah, you're right.
people of King of Hammers.
God, can you imagine? And everybody kind of speculated that there was. Can you imagine if in the center of Hammertown
they had those
had
three
one of
models.
these sitting there?
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Oh, people would have lost it.
People would have still been talking about it right now.
So what?
Just all three of them busted, like not able to start. We'd still be talking about it.
So I'm being 100% honest. I think they look fantastic. I'm very interested in seeing, test driving one, getting a chance to see one on the trail. It seems like a badass vehicle that harkens back to the 60s and 70s origins of the Bronco itself. I think they did a great job with that.
I told you guys this weekend, I'm like, dude, I'm really afraid I'm going to end up liking this Bronco.
Dude.
And they got me.
I like lots of things, but I don't have to buy one. I don't have to force myself not to do it. Don't do it, Jose.
Real quick. So we've been talking about the Bronco itself. What about the Bronco Sport?
What about
Who cares?
I mean, no.
Who cares?
Next.
No, that's what I was
You guys went after the Renegade, huh? Great. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, but so that's the point, right?
Right.
So Jeep's got this lineup of off-road capability from top to bottom with the Renegade, the Cherokee, and the Wrangler, right? That's their up and down the line model. So Ford's going, okay, we can do it too. And they came out with this Bronco Sport to compete directly with the Compass and the Renegade. And I would say even like the RAV4s and
They have that TRD now, that TRD
the
off-road.
TRD RAV4. I think they're, Jose made the comment the other day or, several weeks ago about the adventure market being kind of open. And maybe they saw that. Maybe they listened to the show and they were like, Jose's got a point.
My opinion is tainted just because we're outgrowing the Renegade. We didn't have the boys when we bought that. That was just Monty's like tool around thing, and I got to borrow it and four wheel in it, which was fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So at this point now, we need something bigger.
I'll say the Ranger.
What's the difference? Why would I buy that? It's no different than my Frontier, except it sucks more. It has a big Ford oval on it.
Your Frontier doesn't suck.
Yeah, exactly. Sucks more to something that doesn't suck. You're still sucking more.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not down with the logic. So I think, again, I'm trying not to be a fanboy. I'm trying to be objective about it because I've been excited about the Jeeps and I've driven them, and I think that the narration in the release pinpointed enough little things about the Jeep. We'll call them flaws or features or things about the Jeep that they feel that they've improved upon enough to go, all right, yep, we're going after the Jeep. Here's what we've done. And I think those features are pretty compelling.
So what JK did for Jeep, this Bronco is going to do for Ford.
Yeah, 100%.
This thing is going to blow up. Tons of aftermarket support is going to be out there.
100%.
Now it's going to be Jeep and Bronco from now on. IFS, because they're going hard after the solid front axle.
Yep.
It's going to be IFS because Ford runs their trucks in Baja. Mm-hmm. They test them there. Jeep does too, I think, in the production class. But it's now they just start.
Jeep tests a lot of their stuff at the Montclair Plaza, and also
at the Victoria Gardens
and Victoria Gardens. Sometimes they go Ontario Mills.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes
you're right.
they drive between all three.
Now there's a war now. It's IFS versus solid front axle.
I love it though. I love this war.
I'm telling you,
think this is the best thing that could have happened to our sport.
It's good. It's good for everybody.
Yeah.
Now everybody. Now Toyota's falling behind, dude.
Yes. That Gen 3 Tacoma, they're going to have to refresh that. The 4Runner, although I don't know all of what the latest is like. I mean,
it's been the same for 10 years, dude.
But so same kind of thing. Like Toyota and Jeep, they've each carved out their own niche in the market.
But because there's no competition.
Exactly. And now Bronco's coming in and Ford is going in with the Ranger and the Bronco. Nissan next year with the Frontier. They're stepping up the game. I think Toyota and Jeep are going to have to reconcile with that.
They have to step up their game because, Chevy has a ZR2, which is a great truck.
Do we still consider the ZR2 a great truck? I mean, hasn't it had a bunch of issues?
I don't think so.
No?
I think just the shocks, they leak.
Yeah.
That's a huge
Is that an issue?
Yeah, I
big
would
issue.
put that on the list.
And there are no aftermarket replacements.
They're proprietary. Like you can't.
Yeah, you have to buy them from the factory.
Yeah. So
that's a big problem.
It's a pretty big problem.
Yeah.
No, but dude, the feeling I get from watching this thing, I'm telling you, just ignited like a new Cold War between
100%. It's not cold. It ain't cold.
It ain't cold.
It's nuclear. Nuclear. I wanted to say it the wrong way, and I did it wrong.
But dude, Jeep is scared because obviously they showed their hand.
Yeah.
First. And this is pretty exciting, dude. Even though it is a Ford, whatever, dude, found on road dead.
Yeah.
I'm still very excited about it.
Leftover rebuilt Dodge.
I 100%, Jose. I think that even if you're not a Ford person, even let's say you're a diehard Jeep person, you look at what Ford just launched and the features that they put into that vehicle, and that makes you excited because Jeep now has something to shoot for. Whereas everything Jeep has done for the last 2-3 decades has been like, what do we want to do next? What do we want to iterate with next? And they've been doing a great job. I'm not knocking that.
But it's very, very, it's like slivers, right?
Yeah.
They just improve a little bit.
They improve it enough to where they can jack the price up another $10,000 and call it a new model,
But
right?
this is a game changer.
This
now is a direct competitor.
Now they have to go, well, the what are they going to call the next one? The JM? The JK, JL, JM? I don't know. So whatever the next one is.
JT is the Gladiator.
Yeah. They have to look at this and say, okay, here's the features we had listed for the next iteration, because they're already working on that. Here's what the next iteration looks like, and they're going to have to stop and go, all right, what do we have to do here to stay relevant? Because if we don't iterate enough to at least be comparable to some of these things, it's going to be a detractor. I mean, yeah, no?
No, I think we've beat this horse. Now we're comparing it to the
Bronco?
Cold War.
Beat this Bronco?
And, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything more that can be said, unless you guys want to keep going on it. But
no,
that video was cool. It looks cool. I think it looks really cool. It's time to put up or shut up. Like, I want to see them on the trail.
Hey, are you looking to upgrade your PC, whether it be for gaming or for video production or whatever your needs are? Go to evga.com and check out their products. They make top-of-the-line graphics cards, power supplies, gaming keyboards, audio cards, cooling systems, accessories, cases, motherboards, you name it, they've got what you need to build a PC. They've stepped up and helped us build a really solid machine for the streaming that we've been doing on YouTube. And if it wasn't for these guys, we'd still be fumbling around trying to figure it out. Please support them. Go to evga.com. At checkout, use the code Trailchasers, and you can get up to 10% off anything you purchase. So go to evga.com, use the checkout code Trailchasers to get a discount. Thanks, EVGA.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
The Trailchasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. All right, we are back from our little break. For those of you that are just joining at 6:30, we actually started at 5:30 because we were watching or at 5 o'clock because we were watching the Bronco release, and we talked about that. And if you want to hear that conversation, you're going to have to download this week's episode because we're not going to go back and do it. So interestingly enough about the Bronco release, my wife has been looking for a new vehicle for a while, and we've talked about this a couple times, and I have been trying to get her to wait until the Bronco came out so that we could look at that as an option, and she was not waiting. She didn't want to wait for another 6 months to be able to get a vehicle. So been back and forth. We looked at the Volvo XC90.
So you guys wanted a like an SUV?
Here was the criteria. So she's been driving a 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 2-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. So the criteria was sport utility, 4-wheel drive, preferably with a third row option. Like she noted that even though we just have Presley, there are times we want to go do stuff with the boys, with Matt's kids and my brother's kids, and not have to take 2 vehicles. Like she wanted the option of be able to take more than one or 2 kids. So the third row was a thing, and then her Jeep was pretty Spartan. It was a Laredo option. It didn't have a lot of bells and whistles, so she wanted to kind of upgrade to something. So we looked at the Volvo XC90, which was really nice, and it did have an optional third row. She looked at the Land Rover Discovery, which is a little bit smaller. She didn't want to go smaller. She wanted to go maybe a little bit bigger. We looked at like everything on the market. And Sunday, when we got home from Big Bear, she was like, I just made an appointment to go drive this Land Rover in Riverside. So I took the Jeep.
The Discovery?
The Discovery, yeah. And, surprising, a two-year-old Discovery, four-wheel
They're pretty
drive,
affordable, dude.
28,000, 26,000. I mean, it was really not an expensive vehicle. I was really surprised when we first saw them.
No, the value drops a lot.
Yeah, even the Volvo. I mean, we were not looking at a very expensive vehicle in the grand scheme of things.
No, those things brand new. They're like $80,000, dude.
Yeah, well, they're not used. Let me tell you, 2 years old. It was 20-some grand.
Yeah,
under 30. So we made an appointment, went down there. There was a couple things about it I didn't like, she didn't like. We looked at a couple of the other Dodge Durango has been on the list a bunch. Those are really, but when you get inside a Dodge Durango, it's essentially a Jeep Cherokee. The inside is the same setup.
How did the Discovery drive? I'm very intrigued by Land Rover.
I didn't drive it.
Did you ride in it?
No, because of the whole COVID thing. Like, they don't even go with you on the drive. You have to show proof of insurance and your license, and you have to sign a waiver and the whole thing. So she went, and because we had Presley with us, we didn't put the car seat in there. I stayed at the dealership with Presley. She drove it. She said the Discovery was fun, but the what's happening?
Nothing. I'm just trying to get Matt to the live feed.
Well, actually, I was scrolling. I was thinking, you guys are talking about Fords and stuff. I'm just going to watch this.
I thought you were trying to get to the live feed.
I was going to, but then I saw From Prada to Nada, and I thought that looked pretty interesting.
Matt, we're having a conversation, and Matt's over here.
Yeah, I was quiet. I was just doing my own thing, and then Jose...
I thought you were trying to get to the live feed. I was trying to help you. Prada to Nada. What's going on there?
Go on.
How we've made it to 133 episodes, I don't know. So we test drove a bunch of vehicles, and then we sat down with the guy at CarMax and kind of went through some inventory, and he found a Ford Explorer Sport in Buena Park, and it was available, and it was in our price range. So we left Riverside, got down there at 4, and it's this weird, like an orangish brown color.
It's a cool color.
It's a cool color. It's so funny because it's not a color I would buy. Like, I'm
like a copper almost.
Yeah, like I'm very much a black, white, gray, silver, like basics.
Just the basic colors.
When I bought the Ranger, Tammy tried to get me to get that burnt orange Ranger, and I just couldn't pull it off. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. And we ended up with a 2016 Ford Explorer Sport, a 4-wheel drive / all-wheel drive in that copper color, and the thing is freaking awesome. It's got panoramic sunroof. It's got like all kind, and for a really, really affordable price. Like, we wouldn't have been able to buy that car when it was new, but it was. I mean, and again, I did not push the Ford. We drove a new Ford Explorer one day when we were out and about because we had nothing else to do, but we weren't going to pay the price for the new one, and I the only car that I tried to push on her was the Bronco, and she wasn't having it. I take it back. When we were walking through one of the dealerships, there was a probably 1 or 2 year old JL, and I tried to get her to look at that, and she wasn't having it. But so she full on, this is her car. She made that decision. She chose the Bronco, the Explorer, and it's a really, really nice car. Like we've got the whole 7 days to return it. There was a little bit of a vibration I noticed driving home yesterday.
Already?
Not a mechanical vibration.
Yeah, it's called the Ford Vibration. Yeah. They were going to name it the Ford Vibration because they couldn't get rid of it.
I couldn't tell if it was.
They gave you a citation.
I couldn't tell where it was coming from, so I don't know. She said she didn't notice it today when she was driving.
I can't support that. It's very good. So I'm sorry, the Ford's already barely roadworthy. Just took it off the lot yesterday.
No. I heard,
you know what's sad
I shouldn't
is-
even said that. I heard a vibration.
What's sad is you got it from CarMax and they were like, I can't get rid of this death wobble. Just sell it to that idiot. Just drove up in a Ranger. Sell it to them. They'll buy it.
No, we didn't drive up in the Ranger. We had the
Whatever. They saw you. They smelled Ford owner.
Let me tell you,
As soon as you turn the corner,
buying a car as
push that
Sucks,
Explorer.
dude. I hate.
No, it is the worst.
Other than buying a house, buying a car is the second worst.
No, house is easier. House,
no.
there's no. You're
That's 30 days of like.
Yeah, I know,
hoping-
but you're not sitting in their lobby.
and you're not
No.
bartering.
Yes.
You're not fighting and whatever. It's like, God, okay, my foot's in the door. Hopefully, it doesn't come out of the door. But you're not trying to. There's so many people going after that house. You're just thankful that you're holding that spot during that time, and then you got it.
That's the thing with like we've bought several cars from CarMax, and there's no haggling. Yeah, that part's great, but it's you sit down with a guy and they go, okay, yeah, this is the one you want. Click, 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 fill out this information. Okay, that'll be like 5 minutes. Let me process that. Let me go see if I can get the key and they'll process it. We'll be back 5 more minutes. Every time they said 5 minutes and walked away, it was a half hour. Every time. We didn't get it. We were the last 2 people in that dealership last night. We didn't get out of there till after 9 o'clock. And we got there at 4 p.m. We had an appointment to a test drive it at 4 p.m. That was
Why, dude?
I don't understand why it has to be that difficult. We were pre-approved for financing. We've bought multiple vehicles there. They have all our information. It was just a giant pain in the ass. But she's happy. This is her car.
you would think she'd be happy.
Well, you would hope.
Day one.
You hope.
I purposely didn't. She said, are you going to tell the guys? And I'm like, no, I'm going to wait until they walk up and see it tomorrow.
I saw it and I was just like, good shit. Freaking God, man. It's like a disease. All right, go. You got to go through your Ford phase, I guess.
Well, so speaking of Ford phase, Tim brought it up. He brought up the Brown Expedition from LG ECTS.
Oh yeah,
we talked about it a little bit this
wow.
weekend. No, I mean like we talked about it on the radio while we were wheeling with them.
I thought you mean like you and Tammy were talking about buying those.
We fully talked about buying it, but there's no way that vehicle is within our price range. I mean that if you're looking for a full size 4-wheel drive vehicle, that's the Expedition that LG ECTS has, and they have for sale right now up on their page, is absolutely amazing. It's this cool brown color. It's got this cool plaid interior. It's we saw it at Hammers. It is bitchin'. If you are, I don't know what the price tag is on it, but it's worth checking into if you're looking into that vehicle. I have an idea of what the price tag is based on a brief conversation, and it's probably outside of the range of what we wanted to spend at this time. But yeah, Tim, I would have loved that. And Tim asked the question, how did Presley handle that long of a transaction? My kids would have driven. I swear she was an angel. I can't even. We kept saying, can we hurry up? She's been here all day. She's going to have a meltdown any minute. And there was one point where I was out doing something. Tammy said she got fussy, but she watched videos. We brought coloring books for her, and everybody was like, wow, I can't believe how good she's been. So she was such a good girl.
Yeah, you'd think
if you'd have had her running around, rampaging around the delership, it'd have been 5 minutes.
Yes, they were like, let's get this kid out of
let's
here.
Get this over with.
Wow. You would have thought your transaction would have happened in 20 minutes, but I had to entertain your kids for 3 hours.
Yeah, it was Nissan. They didn't care.
They didn't care.
They were trying to get money out of me.
So seriously,
you went to CarMax. There's no bartering or whatever. No wheeling and dealing. Yeah. It was Ontario, and they were like, "Nah, dude, we're gonna try and get every dollar out of you."
So that is the most recent vehicle to the fleet is
a Ford family.
Ford family, and you know what? I was a Ford family growing up. And once I started getting into the Jeeps and stuff, I never, ever pictured myself being a Ford guy again.
You're all in now, dude.
I am so all in. I am all
You just
in.
doubled your odds of like breaking down for sure.
It's like at 99%.
I am all in on the Ranger. I am so far in on this Explorer, and I am all in on somehow getting a Bronco. I don't know how that happens.
No comment. I can't say anything.
Dude, you're going to get one.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, you will.
They got me.
So real quick, we wanted to talk about this piece of it. So when the guys came over today, I texted them real quick and I was like, "Hey, can you guys get here by 5 and we'll watch the Bronco thing?" And they did. And they, I think Jose showed up at 4:45.
It was 4:40.
Yeah.
And like, okay, we got 20 minutes. Let's go grab a bite to
Let's
eat
go
real
get
quick.
something to eat. And there's an El Pollo Loco right around the corner. So I was like, dude, let's El Pollo Loco. We'll get in and out real quick. First thing that happens, we pull up and there's a white car ordering. There's a white Honda ordering.
Just one. It's just the one.
The one white Honda
yeah.
ordering. There was a full-size Jeep Denali.
That was a Silverado.
It was a
GMC.
GMC, sorry,
yeah.
what did I say? Yeah, GMC Sierra
Yeah.
AT4, full on like a $80,000 truck, and then we parked up behind it. So I don't know. At first, I thought it was the Honda that was causing the problems.
I thought they were backing out to leave.
I thought the Honda was like ordering 432 chickens.
They
like,
did.
What is going on? Why is this taking so long? And while the Honda's ordering, the lady driving the Sierra had made the turn too sharp to get into the drive-thru, and she's got stock 35-inch tires on this four-wheel drive truck, and she's backing. She bumps into the curb.
With the rear tire, with the rear tire, driver tire.
Yeah, and she's backing out and trying to maneuver the truck to not touch the curb, and it took her 10 minutes to figure out how to get the truck around a 3-inch tall curb.
She was clearly driving her husband's truck and didn't want to mar up the rims, but still, like, back out, swing around. She backed out. Clearly could have swung wide and done it, but she ended up clipping the curb anyhow, which we laughed, But that was the beginning of 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So two vehicles. There's just two. We're sitting there waiting the whole time. We're watching the clock as again, we thought we can whip in here. We had 20 minutes to do it. We didn't pull out of that driveway. It was like 25 minutes by the time we pulled in. Two vehicles were in front of us.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the window, it was
So you had the salads, right?
Complete shit show. Look, they asked us twice. So we already ordered over the
speaker.
And then as soon as we got up to the window, what did you order again?
Yeah, I felt like I had to repeat the order at the window. Like
Right.
they
Shouldn't
didn't
you have
even
already
write it
started?
down.
Yeah, shouldn't you've already... This is where I come to get it now.
Yeah.
Like I just told you 10 minutes ago what I wanted, and we didn't order anything crazy, ribs or sandwiches. It's El Pollo Loco. We ordered chicken stuff. So they, after 10 minutes of waiting behind the GMC, at this point you should have just handed us our stuff. But no, they had to confirm the order. Another 5 minutes goes by. They confirmed the order again. What the hell's going on, guys?
Yeah.
And then
at this point, I've got the YouTube playing on my phone.
Yes. You guys ordered the tostadas? What the
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Sorry. I was due. And I popped.
That was a hard F, dude.
Yeah, that was you went full on.
I felt that one. I felt good.
It was like slow motion. You started to say, "Whoa," and I knew it was coming. Where's my pants?
You zoned out, dude.
It's nothing stopping me. Yeah. And then they tried to shove, had I known, look, just give me the damn tostadas or whatever it is. We're trying to get in and out of here quick, and it couldn't have been any longer.
No.
I've never...
Well, and then the manager comes over, and you could tell Crystal at the drive-thru. This was like her second day. That's why it took the Honda so long and the GMC Sierra so long, is because this chick had hosed. Because the manager came over at one point and said, "Again, Crystal?"
Yes.
Yes.
And it was Crystal.
Yeah, it was. The manager was pissed off that she had to void another transaction, and so she's like, "Can you do me a favor, pull around?" I was like, "No. Let's do this quick. I'm not pulling around because I'll be in the front of the for eternity."
Hey, real quick, I hate when they do that shit.
Yes.
When they're like, "Can you just pull forward?" It's because they're trying to fucking get their speed of service. They're trying to reach their speed of service.
Brought to you by El Pollo Loco.
Yes.
All these F-bombs.
Yes. Wow, this is the angriest segment we've ever had.
No, dude, I hate when they're
I
like,
know.
just pull forward because they're trying to, like, every second.
Yes.
Let's get it out, guys. Come on.
Yes.
Let's go forward.
Yeah, I know. They're trying to keep that speed of service down, and that's why I was like, no, because if I go out there, you're going to take your time.
They forget.
Yep. Nope. Let's do this. So she has to redo the transaction, eliminate the 2 tostada salads that somehow we paid for, and then give us our food. And she, I remember, like,
It was almost just give me the tostadas.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
take
just
them.
give me the-
another 10 minutes for you to
Yes.
figure out how to give me my money.
yes.
And it's going to be 3 days, by the way. 3 business days.
Is that okay? What do I look like? Yes. Just can you know?
Do I have a choice?
Yeah.
I mean,
This is like the same thing when we finished Mojave Trail and I was sitting at the gas station. Can I have $50 on number 7 because the scanner wasn't working?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, how do I know you're going to give me my $50 back?
Yeah.
I'm just going to trust that it didn't. You know.
Then
Similar.
after the manager did the refund and the transaction, Matt had to sign the thing, and she was like, "Here's your receipt."
would you like another drink?
Well, she said, "You've got your food, right?" And I was all, "No, they still don't have our food. We've been sitting here for 10 minutes." And then she turned around and went, "Crystal."
She's like, she's like, Crystal, everything's in the bag, right?
Yes. And then as she's handed us the bag, Matt goes, "I guarantee you none of our shit's in this bag."
This ain't right.
But
There's
she's
no way
like,
this is right.
Everything's in the bag, right? And
But
she's like,
check this out. Did the manager actually look in the bag?
No.
All she did
No.
was go, "Is that right?" Dude, Crystal's been effing up all day. Obviously.
Clearly, Crystal doesn't know what's going on.
do me a favor, take the extra 10 seconds, go through the bag.
We've already been here long enough.
I've been here 30 minutes already. What's another 10 seconds?
Yeah, clearly Crystal's having a bad day, right? I mean, and I go through that El Pollo Loco all the time because it's so close, and I love their chicken. And I told you guys, I'm in and out of here. It's always easy. It's part of the. I've done it where like I'll log into a conference call in the truck, go get food, and be back before it starts. I mean, that's but no, man, this was the worst El Pollo Loco experience ever, and I love El Pollo Loco.
No. I've had worse drive-through experience. That's up there. But you know what? El Pollo Loco's not even. It's not even.
Is it even chicken?
I mean, it is. But
True, authentic Mexican food, sir.
But the funny thing is, like, there's a Miguel's right there. You know, on the other side of the thing.
But we have
and
Miguel's.
We've had Miguel's.
Yeah, we have Miguel's all the time.
Right. We never have any problems.
No.
It tastes way better.
Yes, but apparently I can't eat tortilla chips from there.
Yeah. So whatever. I'm a Juan Pollo guy. John Chicken.
Is there one by your house, or is it just the one down here in Ontario?
No, there's one on whatchamacallit, like Citrus or whatever. It's like 5 minutes from my house. That was my stop on the way home from here.
Oh, okay.
When before we started eating on the shows.
So, Crystal, if you're listening to this, buck up, sweetheart. You gotta do a little bit better job. I don't know how difficult. Now, one thing I will say about that El Pollo Loco and a lot of fast food restaurants is they put the drive-through on the side where the busiest street is, and you're trying to have a conversation with the people at the speaker, which you can barely hear as it is. And there's trucks and motorcycles and cars going by you. I mean, that's dumb sauce. They should put some kind of sound barrier there. But that aside, I don't know how she got 2 tostadas on that order, and it was stupid.
So enough of that.
I
I don't ever want to talk about that again. Ever.
We'll be there next week.
Yeah, we will, for sure. All right, so speaking of never doing that again, I hope we get to do this again.
Okay, I was going to say, where are you going with this?
Before you go, apparently we've been doing this all wrong because,
that was light.
apparently that was a really light trail. You didn't need lockers, and you don't need 31s to go on this trail. In our gauge, that would have been like a black diamond. Bring everything you have, spare parts kind of run.
Yeah, it was a little bit more gnarly than what we normally
That
do.
was a step away from sliders.
Yes.
One
yeah.
step's as far as you can go without sliders.
Well, I used mine. I used mine. So what the guys are referring to is we got an invite. We interviewed Teresa and Sarah from Baja Forged last week. We got an invite from them to go on a trail run this last Saturday up in Big Bear. So we all the three of us, Joey D from EVGA,
Those are cool kids, club,
and my brother, we all met with the cool kids. Yeah, and by cool kids, it was a lot of the cool kids. It was the LGE CTS crew. It was Paramount Automotive. It was Sunshine Jeep Girls. It was
Ultra 4 was there.
Dave Cole from Ultra 4. It was Sean Holman and Lightning from the Truck Show podcast.
Some podcast, right? They have a podcast.
They do. I hear they do good things. And then
you've heard that?
I did. And there
was some banter. There was some fun banter.
We'll talk about the banter. It was a good time. There was.
We're not afraid to mention them on our show.
I don't think it's fear. I think it's unnecessary for them to mention us.
Whatever.
But they, so it was probably 32, 35 vehicles.
There's
I think
like 40 trucks.
It was a lot. It was a lot of vehicles, and it was a lot of terrain to cover. And we went up through,
and it was a eclectic group too. Like there was a lot of variety there.
Everything from
that
stock Wrangler
and the Xterra.
Oh, that yeah.
Apparently there was a 2-wheel drive Expedition.
I don't know.
I didn't see it.
Neither did I.
I didn't see it.
So one of the things.
But then again, it was like you were saying, like they're calling out obstacles, and I'm not seeing them for like 20 minutes. Like something's coming.
We got so spread out. At one point,
you get anxiety, like, oh my god,
I know,
something's
like, dude,
about to
what is
happen,
this?
and then like, well, when's this going to happen?
Yeah. She, at one point, specifically, Sarah was like, okay, there's this obstacle. If you go to the right of the fork, it's kind of rocky, and on the left, it's more of a bypass. And I'm looking for a fork in the road, and I keep thinking to myself, we're going the wrong direction. We haven't seen this fork. 20 minutes later, this is the fork she was talking about. That's how spread out we got. When we stopped for lunch, Joey D was in front of me, and then like you guys were behind me, and we had a handful of other people behind. We're all just chatting on the backside. There was this big loop kind of around this hill, and we're all on the backside of this mountain, parked, chatting it up, having a good time. All of a sudden, Joey D's like, they're gone. We're like, what? So we jumped in the truck and booked it. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
From when we left the lunch spot for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, dude, we were separated.
I was driving on the radio trying to find them, going, I think I see some dust up here, thinking to myself, holy crap, did I just become the leader of half the group? Because this is going to be a complete disaster. So we
were on the more scenic side of that loop.
Well,
for
so
sure.
so when let's go back a little bit. We started off in Fawnskin.
Yeah, Fawnskin up through 3N16, Holcomb Valley area. Yeah. There were 2 or 3 hill climb areas that I'd never seen before. I've been back in that area a bunch.
So, we've done that trail a few times now.
Yeah.
I don't know, not half a dozen. Myself, not half a dozen.
Yeah.
Maybe
4 or 5.
Holcomb Valley, and it's like, oh, it's very scenic, it's beautiful, but it's mostly fire roads. And then I remember thinking, oh, there's that one like rocky hill climb that I did in the Renegade, Monty did in the Renegade, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool to do it in the truck. And that's all I thought that we were going to do. Like, that was going to be the most difficult thing. Wow, was I wrong? Like, we hit some pretty gnarly stuff. But go on. I don't know what trails we were on.
I'm going to look it up right now.
But I did tell Jose, I hope you recorded, because I'd like to go do that
I did.
again.
I recorded the whole thing specifically for that, because it was really cool. And there were a couple hill climb areas where it was considerable considering the group that we had, right? There were certain vehicles on 35s, 37s locked up front and rear that was no problem. But there were a couple stock JKs and a stock Xterra Pro 4X, and that I was like, man, this is...
There's a GX 460 or 470.
And then I hear them on the radio talking about how some of the people this was their first run. And I was like, dang, you're initiating hard, right? But again, think about the life that that group, LGE, CTS, that was probably an easy trail to them. We've taken much more mellow trails. But the I was very happy with Casey broke once.
Yeah, so so the first stop we went to an overlook, right? That's all like
yes.
I I think it was Dishpan Springs is where we stopped. Because I remember Dave saying on the radio, talking to Sean, he was like, "Have you ever seen a raptor go up Dishpan Springs?" He's like, "You're going to today."
Yeah, I don't. It was called the Amazing High Desert Lookout, is what it was called. I've got it on the map.
Very, very cool lookout.
It was,
And so in that lookout, there's like this little section that it's like a 45-degree angle, right?
Yeah.
Rocky, it's super rocky, rutted out. Dave Cole and his Raptor, he just he just started climbing it.
Yeah, he was like, "Let's," because I'll tell you, I looked at it and I went, "Wow, that'd be really cool to do." And I was like, I don't know, I don't know that I'd try it in the Ranger. And
I thought about it doing it in my truck.
Because I had the sliders, I would have at least given it a shot. I don't know how far I would have made it.
Me neither.
But Dave Cole,
That thing was making a lot of noise.
Oh,
There was a lot of banging.
he was kicking up. So he was kicking up softball-sized rocks. I mean, so those of you that don't know who Dave Cole is, he is the King of Kings. He is one of the original 12 that started the King of Hammers. He is now the
There's 13, but
the Dirty Dozen. They
call him they call him the Dirty Dozen, but there was 13.
Was it there? Okay. So, anyways, he's now the owner of the King of the Hammers events.
Yeah.
The Ultra. He started the Ultra 4, the whole thing. I mean, he is the guy. He is off-road motorsports. He is. I was explaining that to Tammy. I'm like, he is the King of Kings.
Well, that brings up another side story that we'll get to.
I'm going to talk about that right now. So Dave Cole is there, and he goes up this thing, and he just bombs that Raptor. And we were kind of joking about, well, it's Dave Cole. If he wrecks that Raptor, he either calls Ford for a new one, or he calls Teresa and says, "Hey, I messed up my Ford while I was on your trip. You need to fix the paint." Like, I mean, that's
It was a win-win for him.
Win-win. But he did, and there were a couple, beach ball sized boulders.
My biggest takeaway was, dude, he was driving it like he was driving a Ultra 4.
Yeah.
It was very technical. Like, he chose his line.
He knew what he was
perfect.
doing, for sure. So it's super impressive. He got all the way up and came all the way back. And then, I don't know specifically when this happened, but at the end of the day when we were having dinner, Casey informs me, we started talking about Dave Cole, and Casey was like, "Who?"
Oh, the guy in the Raptor.
And I was, "Well, the guy in the Raptor, Dave Cole." He's like, "Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I talked to that guy." I'm like, "What do you mean you talked to that guy?" He's like, "He came over to me and say, 'So what do you guys do?'" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Trailchasers. What is it?" "It's a podcast."
What is that?
"What is that?" "They talk about stuff."
What kind of stuff?
What do you guys do?" "Well, we're kind of doing it. Yeah, we're a podcast.
We're doing it
We're doing
now.
it right now. I don't understand." And so he was like, "Okay, cool," and like walks away. And I'm like, hold on. You mean to tell me Dave Cole asked what the Trailchasers was, and Casey was the one that responded? Casey was the one that blew our one shot at Dave Cole?
That was the one shot.
That was the shot of greatness. That was the difference between the spare bedroom and the stage at Hammers. It's all that was in between us, and Casey ruined it.
And he broke down too. And let's not forget that. He broke down. Why is there everybody backing it? There was like that first hard hill climb. And it started backing up because he only got like 40 feet past the top of the hill, and then it's just like a pile up on the 405. You keep hearing on the radio, "Why is everybody stopping up there?" And
there's a Jeep that broke down.
I was full on. "You're embarrassing me in front of my friends." I felt like the Anthony Michael Hall in Weird Science before he went into that party, and he's talking to the nerds behind him, like, "Don't do anything to embarrass me." But his linkage on his transfer case slipped. He got it put back in, made it to the first.
Well, he put in a part that he.
Well, no, he temporarily just snapped it back into place.
That's right.
And we went to the very first stop. Casey pulls out his little mat, lays it down underneath the Big Tasty, and he's like, "There it is. I knew I had it." I'm like, "You had what?" He's, "Oh, I had the linkage a relocation bracket in the back of my Jeep." "Why is it in the back of your Jeep?" "Well, I never got around to it." So while we're having snacks on the hill watching Dave Cole going up there, Casey's installing brackets on his transmission so it doesn't break again. So we did that one. We did.
He's like, "It shifts like butter now."
Yeah, it shifts like butter now. So we did.
is that good?
Butter's delicious.
Like butter.
Shifts like butter.
If it
tastes?
shifts. shifts like butter.
Shits like butter. Because I've had that a lot.
The butter shits?
Oh, man.
This is a high class. That's lowbrow. We shift.
Not anymore.
Shift like butter.
Got the butter shits.
Are they anything like the beer shits?
No. So the trail was about a 27-mile trail, 27 and a quarter mile trail.
Dude, that was like a 6-hour day.
It was a 6-hour. Duration of movement was 4 hours and 50 minutes. The duration total was 5 hours and 50 minutes. So, but I mean, super, super cool group. Siobhan, shout out to Siobhan. She was there. She somehow during the mix, she ended up right behind Tammy and I, and she was out there on her own. She's a teacher, and she was just wanting to go wheeling, and she signed up, and none of her kids didn't want to go with her, so she came by herself, and she hung out with this super nice lady. Gave her a card. She's going to go with us another time. The whole group was cool. On the radio, we got the chance to go back and forth with Holman and Lightning a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fun. I really did. I thought it was interesting. Like, and even Teresa made the comment. She's like, with all these podcasters here, I'm expecting some comedy, and it started quick.
Yeah, it was like right away, dude.
And Holman was going back and forth. Oh, the best part of the whole thing is about halfway through us going back and forth bagging on each other. Holman gets on the radio and he plays their podcast theme song. And, I said, how's it feel to have the second best theme song in podcasting? Which I don't remember what the response was, because Jose jumps on and goes, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you're driving around in your truck with your theme song playing? And I thought that was hilarious. It was so funny. But those guys are. I mean, we've talked to them before. We hung out with them for a little bit at the 4-Wheeler Expo earlier this year. Super cool guys. I love the fact that we had enough of rapport to go back and forth with them like that. It was a fun time. I mean, I couldn't have been happier with the day. It was a great day. The wheeling was fantastic. The hill climbs, I think, were...
So, a lot of times in the past, I've only gone 4 low, locker on, maybe one time before, and it's like really low. I don't really like that. So, most of the time I just go, 4 high, and I just gun it. Maybe I'll have the locker on as well. There was a couple of spots that I barely climbed up in 4 high locker on. So from the rest, I think it was like the third hill climb where it got really narrow and tight.
Yeah.
I think somebody blew a tire.
There was a point where we had a couple full-size trucks with us, and there was a point where you drop down into this ditch and then have to climb back out, and it was kind of technical and twisty.
Yeah.
And there were some rocks and big tree roots, and someone popped a bead. And,
okay.
And so I could see them from my vantage point. I could see the vehicle. It was up on an angle on the incline. There was probably 4 or 5 vehicles in front of me, but because everybody was dropping down and coming back up, I could see them. And the LGE CTS crew, Teresa and the guys, jumped out, and in 10 minutes had that thing swapped out.
I could hear the impact.
Yeah, they had it swapped out on a like a 30-degree incline. Just handled it. We were like, if that was our group, we would have been like, oh man, somebody get out the lunch because we're going to be here for a while.
Oh yeah, it's day's over.
So what the funny part, we're sitting there, and they're 100 yards away, maybe 50 yards away from me, and my nephew comes over and he's like, how'd they pop a tire? I said, do you see where I'm sitting? Do you see where the pop tire is? How the F am I supposed to know? You're right behind me. I don't know.
I was saying, like, I went 4 low from that point forward. The rest of that, the technical portion of that trail, which was like the next mile or so until we got back down onto like fire roads, and we're pretty much done at that point. But oh wow, okay, 4 low. Like I needed it, and it was like a lesson learned for me. Because going down, descending was awesome.
Yeah, because
I've been telling you that.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to anything.
But you have to have it in four. So you have to plan on putting things in four low.
Yeah, you do.
And you know, as far as the pace was going, everybody was going at a four low speed. I can't just. I have to go into neutral.
Everybody does.
But if you're maintaining a pace, you know, the way we normally go four wheeling.
No,
we're not stopping. It's just we're gonna keep going and then we're gonna do 30 or 40 miles an hour.
But you can do 30 or 40 in four low. You can four low drive.
Yeah,
you can.
I think because I had it in first gear.
Oh yeah,
and I was doing it.
No,
I wasn't in drive.
70% of that trail run, I was in first gear low, four low.
Yeah. I was probably,
I guess I could have.
I was probably 50-50. Like we'd come to a hill climb and I'd put it in four low and then come out of the hill climb, come down. I'd keep it in four low for a while because we're doing 20, 30 miles an hour.
That was the thing. I had it in first four low.
No.
And it was just really
four low drive, you're golden. You could go 40 miles an hour, no problem. And then, you know, we'd come to a stop and we're flat roads. Okay, I'd switch it out of four low back into four high. So I was back and forth between the two, but like, I know what you're saying. You have to stop and do it, but you can also
you can still go 30 miles.
If you put it four low drive, you can still do that. You could.
There was only like the one or two spots like that where I wanted to just get back into four high, you know. But everybody, you know, the pace kept going. But again, that was the first time I've actually wheeled in four low.
Yeah, anytime we're coming up to like a steep decline, I put that thing in four low, dude, because you just have so much more control over you don't have to use your brakes as much.
Yeah. No, that was cool. Definitely a fun. The final mile or two was really cool. Lots of fun. I definitely want to hit that again.
Yeah, I marked it out. I want to go back to it
with my bigger tires at some point. You know,
the going back to a handful of episodes when I talked about almost dying in Cleghorn.
Yes, the green trail.
Yes, the green trail. So the takeaway from that is, like, we got into a couple scenarios where I was legitimately like, shit, I don't even know if I can get out of this. Like, this is gonna be a challenge. And coming out of that experience where I did not have a choice. The sun is going down. I got my wife with me. I got to get out of here. The only way out of here is up that rutted hill climb and over those rocks. And I did it. And I was able to do it in the Ranger, four low, locker on. And coming away from that, when we came to those obstacles at this weekend, like, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even flinch. Like, I knew drop into four low, locker on, no problems. And I didn't have any problems. Being in a position where I was forced to push the vehicle has now given me 10 times more confidence in that vehicle.
But I think we're reaching a point too, is like all of the trail runs we've done so far have not been difficult.
No,
they're not difficult.
They're fun. They're fun. Yeah.
But I think me and Matt were talking, like, to me, it's like, don't get me wrong, any day on the trail is better than not. But it's like, I'm getting kind of bored of just doing the fire road stuff. And I kind of want to do more technical stuff.
Yeah, well,
so this Saturday was like a perfect step up to
correct
what I wanted to do, a little bit more technical, just to see what our trucks can really do. Like, I think it was a good test this weekend. And
going back to that, part of the what's limited our trails has been the vehicles.
That
right?
too, yeah.
Like, you didn't, for a while, you were on stock with no sliders, right? You got yours built up. Mm-hmm. He's now lifted. We got to get his 33s on there and sliders. Yeah. When we get to that point, and Casey's already got, his all built up.
But it overheats, but that's a different issue.
But Joey D is built up. Joe K is now the one that's going to be needing to start building his up. But the trails we were taking were fun and commensurate with the vehicles that we had. The minute Matt gets sliders on his truck, Gold Mountain. We are hitting Gold Mountain 100%
for sure.
So, and that's gonna,
let's break shit.
Yeah, Gold Mountain, and then Cougar Buttes. There's a bunch of obstacles in Cougar Buttes that are really fun. Like, those are going to be the next steps. But I haven't wanted to push the Ranger without the sliders on there. The last thing I wanted to do was bust up the rocker panel. The Tacoma was fully geared up and ready to go, but you guys weren't. So once we get to a point where we're all in a vehicle that we are willing to push, it's going to change the trails that we wheel. You know what I mean? So,
all the stuff that we hit, I knew I was going to make it up. That was just, so thinking back, what was like the most difficult thing we had climbed before? There was some stuff I think down in Ocotillo that was similar, like softer, but still like as far as running out, you know, where, you know,
long extended hill climbs.
Yeah, with big holes and pits, and thank God I had a locker, and it, you know, obviously helped going through. So there was similar where the power and traction, you know, was key. So I knew I was going to make it up these hills. There was just like 3 or 4 of them all in one day. Like, oh man, okay.
No, it was cool pushing our trucks to the next level, right? I mean, we didn't go too hard, but it was just cool seeing that. It was cool seeing what you guys' trucks can do, my truck can do, and just knowing, okay, now that we can see what it's done, like you just want to push it just a little bit more.
Yeah. We'll keep pushing a little bit more, and I think that, again, so appreciative of Sarah and Teresa for inviting us and letting us. We joked around about hanging out with the cool kids, but I really did feel like there was a lot of cool people there, and I did map it out because I want to go do it again. You know,
yeah.
But the takeaway for me is that, you know, the vehicles are way more capable than we think they are.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they know that too. You know, like, you're good if you have a stock 4-wheel drive. Like,
because they said minimum 32-inch tires, low range,
no locker
required.
I'll tell you, it was nice to have though.
It was because several of those vehicles went up it in 4 high, no locker.
Yeah.
You know, some of those newbies. One of the JKs was a stick. I
forgot her name.
Siobhan's?
Yeah,
What hers was? A stick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is Holman's.
So's Holman's. But her Jeep is just a Wrangler Sport. It wasn't even a Rubicon. It's just a Wrangler Sport.
Yeah.
You know, stock.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a really, although the group was huge, you know, I think that even they would admit that maybe cap it at 25 next time.
Even that's a lot, dude.
I know. But it was a good group. Everybody got along. It was fun. It was, you know, Casey ruined our chances of success. With Dave Cole. I don't know who else he talked to that day that will never be able to.
You don't want to know.
Steve Garvey was probably there, and he blew him off.
Yeah.
Who the F is this guy?
Yeah. So, but I mean, for just a quick weekend trip, it was great. And then Matt and I and Tammy and the kids all stayed at my mom and dad's Saturday night, came home early Sunday. And, man, I love those days. I love those. They're long, but they're just like, it's so recharges my battery. Getting out on the trail, tooling around. I will tell you that between the Bailey Canyon run 4th of July weekend and this last weekend, I don't know how much paint I have left on that truck.
Time to trade it in.
I'm afraid to go wash it right now. I know. You're probably right. Man,
here comes the Bronco. Probably next week. You'll probably have it tomorrow. You won't say anything. Well, they're not out yet, but
I can't.
No, but
you know what I'm saying.
Somehow he's gonna have one.
I can't afford it, dude. You know I can't afford one of those.
Well, we don't even know what the price is. What if it's 35 all in? Dude, they wouldn't even be able to.
Yeah, 35 for the fully loaded Rubicon comparable. No, there's no way. 35.
Stop it.
35.
All right. What if I won the lotto? And I
35.
Everybody won.
Base. 35 base with steel disc wheels. Like that's. I mean, I
don't know. 35 ain't getting you a lot of Broncos these days.
No, 35 ain't getting you much. All right. Well, anything else? What do we got coming up? I don't know if we have any additional runs coming up. It's too damn hot to do anything. It was hot up there this weekend. It was in Big Bear, and it was still 90 in the sun.
AC was cranking.
I know, but even when you got out, it was still hot. We don't have any other trail runs coming up. I know that the Trigger Controller and Mountain Hatch guys are starting to talk about another event coming up soon.
I think that probably got 86 today because our state leader just shut everything down.
Yeah, I just saw a thing on that. So yeah, we'll keep you informed.
What are you trying to say? Like thousands of people aren't dying? No, just the cartoon people are dying.
What?
The COVID. That's why he shut everything down. It's COVID spreading like crazy again.
It's on a rampage.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Like, but then there's the conspiracy. Like, it's fake. It's not a real thing.
And
but it's
we're
only,
gonna go
it's
ahead
only
and
killing cartoon people like from the pharmaceuticals. Yeah, it's just a cartoon people. If you're a real life,
you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
How many people do you know have COVID?
I know 3 that had
I
COVID.
just found out a second one today. Yeah.
Okay, well there goes my argument. You guys
Yeah,
are supposed to say
yes.
0.
Yes.
No, yeah, I just found out there was a second one today.
Well, that ended my.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys see? And I didn't even want to look because I think I know what it was. But there was like a hashtag this weekend, like "Am I cake?" And it was like I saw a bunch of like posts all over the place where it was just like like decorative cakes, but they look real. It looks like a real glass, but you cut it, and it's like a cake. Yeah. And then I just saw a guy with his hand and a knife. Am I cake? And it was like, I'm not clicking on that bullshit. I'm not clicking on that bullshit. Oh.
That doesn't sound like anything good.
No, I just saw it all over the place. I thought
I saw a crock. I saw a crock getting cut open. It was. I thought it was a real crock, but it was a cake.
Okay, see? So there was a lot of that stuff going
Yeah.
on this weekend. And then, like a lot of pictures of a guy like, oh my God, I'm cake. And it's like a slice of his head is taken away. And it's like different layers of cake. And he's just. Whatever.
I'm not sure how we got there. So, all right.
It has to do with cartoons, space-time continuum, aliens, ghosts. That's our future podcast.
I know.
Me and Jose. You do it, Jose. I don't know how to do it.
Wait. Why can I not be in?
You said you didn't have time to run it. So if Jose runs it,
you don't need me now.
We need your studio. We need your studio.
I said I don't have time to run it.
Let's end this episode now,
Yeah.
and then we'll do our get
out.
All right, guys,
Kick him out of his own house.
I'm gonna go in the other room
See you
while
next week.
Jose and Matt do their other show without me.
I'm Presley, and thank you for listening. Thank you to Next and Tire. Thank you to Icon. If you want to be on the show, call 951-394-DIRT. Thank you to Ryan Terena with all of the music.
You need a Bronco. The all-new Bronco family. Built as wild as what you're looking for.
I want one. Damn it! I want one so bad. You know you want one, Jose.
It's so good. It looks so good, dude.
Buy my Ranger.
No.
Buy my Ranger.
No. If I'm gonna buy a piece of shit. It's gonna be the new Ford Bronco.